Hello, welcome to my channel. We are here to discuss the art of listening. So listening, right? Listening? You listening? Are you listening? See, there's a difference between hearing and listening. See, with listening, you're actually actively being with the person that you're actually talking to. Whereas hearing, it's like someone calls your name and you heard them call your name. Or you heard someone say, oh, I need a bag of chips and 2 rolls of toilet paper. There's a difference. So with listening, it involves a lot of being aware and being in the moment with an individual. See, we do this all the time very easily in front of the television, with the radio, or surfing on the web, or being on Facebook, or doing anything that requires or has our attention that we like doing. For instance, you're watching this video, so you're probably listening. All right, what is listening? Now, if you think of a moment where you've sat with a friend, or sat with a family member, or just sat in public and you've overheard people talking about certain things, there's a lot of observation that goes on with listening. For me, in particularly, when I'm working with a client, I shut off pretty much who I am for that person. That means I become a kind of a bit of a recording device, or something that is actually taking in information and not giving out. For example, you may be talking with someone and you're talking about how you feel and this and that, and another person, and the other person that you're speaking to gives back a similar situation. Now, for some people that works, but ultimately this is not listening. Listening is point blank, you shut up, you ask questions about what that person is talking about, understanding what that person is talking about, because that makes the other person feel like they're being heard. That makes the other person feel like they're being accepted, and that makes the other person feel like they're supported. Listening is such an important factor in conversations and interaction with people that it gets thrown under the bus. It gets neglected, and people often remember the people who have listened to them most, who have understood what they've said. Particularly the people who do counseling know this method very well, because in counseling you're not allowed to talk about how you feel. But there are times when it is necessary for you to give an example of what happened in your life if you're trying to help someone. There's a good book out there that helps with communication and listening, particularly this book called Nonviolent Communication. This book really helped me into understanding what listening was all about. Throughout my entire life, I have been very quiet. I had to be quiet because I was being told to be quiet when I was a very young child. But throughout that time, I was listening. I was always listening. I was always being observant of my surroundings and having awareness, because that's all I pretty much had left to do when I got to a certain age. I just had to watch people and listen. So you have to allow that other person to speak. They have to let everything out. And when everything is out, that's the time to start talking about yourself in context to what that person was talking about. So an example would be one of my clients. She had a lot of issues dealing with people coming into her life and were very interested in her, and then, the very next few weeks they would just disappear and would have no interest in her. Now, this made her feel very isolated and alone and all that stuff, but she had to talk about those things. She had to say everything that she needed to say in order to kind of release the tank, or empty the glass, so that new information can get put in. It wasn't until like maybe 20 or 30 minutes of her speaking and me encouraging her and having everything out was the fact that I could then have my input in and tell her and explain things to her that were very important. Because it's in order to help someone, you have to be there for them first. You have to just not try to just jump in and be like, it's okay, it's fine, things like this happen and this. That doesn't help anybody. And I'm not talking about sympathizing with anybody, and I'm not talking about being empathetic either. Like, of course, there's a level of empathy when it comes to listening to people, but it's totally being in a neutral space and totally just actively just listening to what that other person has to say and being there. Like, I don't know how else to explain it. The first step into learning this new art of listening, first step is shut up. It's to listen. It's to ask questions to keep that person going along. Person says, "Oh, I've had a bad day." You say, to encourage that, "Oh, what happened?" And you listen to what happened, and not giving too many subtle encouragements like, "Oh, right, yeah. Be subtle with the encouragements. Yeah. Nod. Okay. Look the person in the eye. Let the person know that you're there for them. That's step one. Step two, be aware of yourself as you're talking to the other person. Now, this part's a bit tricky because that involves you being aware of what that person is saying and listening to what that person is saying, and it is also paying attention to yourself, because deep down, and if you're listening, you're going to start to feel what that other person feels, and you're going to start to get tinglings in parts of your body that are going to help you indicate what's going on with that person and relate to that person in order to help them further on. Step 3, shut up. At that point, when you come to step 3 and it's about probably 5 minutes, 10 minutes in the conversation, you're going to want to say something. Don't fall into wanting to say something. Stay out of it. Keep yourself out of it. Stay with the person. Keep guiding that person. If you can imagine listening to someone, it's guiding them through the darkness, and you're the one who can see. And you're just helping them get to where they need to go because they can't see right now. So that doesn't involve you stopping and going, "You know what, I'm hungry. What do you want to eat?" No, you're helping this person get from point A to point B. That means you got to leave yourself out of it. And, if you're hungry, well, get something to eat and then have a conversation. You can stuff your mouth while you listen to the other person. Step 4, and the final step, is to take that information, everything that you've learned, and if you're really there to help that person, then take every bit of what that person has said and start to apply your remedies to it, or apply your life experience with, or anything like that. Or if you're in a position where the person starts to figure out the things that you want to say to them, just keep listening. Don't stop. Just keep encouraging them. Guide them, continue to guide them where they need to go, because there's a lot of smart people out there that figure this stuff out on their own, and I'm not saying that the people who can't are stupid. It's just that they need more encouragement. So that there is the art of listening. I hope you got all that. And if you didn't, just, hit that little replay button. Please subscribe. Thank you for watching. Be you, be love, and be groovy.